Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am back with another video, and this time we're going to be doing a full set of pink and white ombre nails. So the first thing that I'm doing is going in with a cuticle pusher and just pushing back those cuticles. Remember that this is going to expose the new growth and also help reduce lifting. After that, we're going to go in with a 180 sanding band to remove the shine from the natural nail. Remember that when you're using this, you want to go from the right side over to the left side, just going back and forth, as well as removing the shine from the rest of the nail. But you want to make sure that you get really close to that cuticle area, because a lot of the time if you don't, that's where your lifting will come from. So this step is really important. And remember that if you're still not comfortable with working with a drill, you could always do this step, or really you can do, full set without using a drill. You can just use a regular hand file and it would be the same process, just of course removing the shine with the hand file. After we finish removing the shine, we're going to go ahead and dust the nails off, and we're going to apply the nail tips. To apply the nail tips, I'm going to be using my KDS nail glue. As always, make sure that when you're applying nail tips that you size the nail tips correctly. You don't want it to be too big or too small. You want it to be you want it to go from sidewall to sidewall. You don't want the natural nail hanging off, because if it's too big or too small, it possibly could break or lift. So if one tip is too small, go up to the higher number, and then if that one's too big, just use the bigger one and just file it down on the sides just a little bit, as you see me doing here, to make it fit perfectly. So again, I'm using the KDS nail glue, and we're just applying the nail tips. And also make sure that when you're doing this, you hold your client's finger really straight, because then if you don't, it is possible that their nail can be crooked. Alrighty, so now we're going to go in and just trim the nails down. So we're going to cut them down to her desired length. And as always, once we finish cutting them down, we're going to go back in and just measure each nail against each other to make sure that they're all the same size. Now I'm going to go in with a straight edge nail clipper, and I'm just going to be trimming down the sides of the nail tips. That way whenever we start shaping the nail, it helps with reducing some of that filing time. So again, we're using a straight edge nail clipper. You could also use a little pair of scissors or whatever you feel comfortable using, but this works really good for me. After this, we're going to go in with a 100-100 nail file, and we're just going to be shaping the nails into a coffin shape. As always, we follow the sides at a 45-degree angle and the free edge at a 90-degree angle to make sure that it's super straight. And then when I'm filing the nail tips at the beginning or shaping them, I don't just stress too much about the shape, because once you apply the acrylic, it's a lot easier to perfect your shape, especially if you have like really flimsy nail tips. A lot of the time it's hard to file those, so a lot of the time I just wait until after I apply the acrylic to actually make sure that I get that perfect shape. And then what you see me doing right there is I just blend the nail tip right in the middle, so it just helps the acrylic look more natural. And really now it's just kind of a habit when I do it, especially or even if I'm doing like the ombre like I'm doing today. So again, 45-degree angle on the sides, 90-degree angle at the free edge, and blending the nail tip right in the middle. Next, I'm going in with my Young Nail Protein Bond. We're only applying that to the natural nail. And then after this, we're going to go ahead and start off with the acrylic. So for the acrylic today, we're going to be using the Frosted Pink by Mia Secret. As you can see, it's that nut color that people like. All I did was I added the glow in the dark powder to it, but it's already like this milky color. So again, that's Frosted Pink by Mia Secret. I'm also going to be using the Mia Secret Cover Pink, which I got from Nail Supply Glamour, so be sure to check them out if you're interested, and I do have a promo code for them. But as you can see, for this set, I'm just doing the tips first with the Frosted Pink, and then I'm gonna go back in and do the Cover Pink, and then to encapsulate them, I'm gonna be using the Mia Secret Pink, which is a really translucent pink, and it almost, kind of looks clear. So again, I'm just doing the tip first. Remember, you can either do a nail at a time, go ahead and do the tip and the Cover Pink, and then encapsulate them, or you can do each nail with the tip first and then come back, or however you want to do it. But really it's just depending on what you feel comfortable doing and what helps you do it a little bit faster. And honestly, I feel like this step or this way is a bit faster for me, which is why I do it like this. But it really doesn't matter because you're still gonna get the same end result. But anyways, now I'm just going in with the Mia Secret Cover Pink. As you can see, I've applied it closer to the cuticle area, making sure that I don't apply too much because I don't want it to take away from that ombre effect. So I placed it closer to the cuticle area, pat it down, brushing it towards the middle to blend it in really good. I applied another bead. This is what's going to create our apex. And then after this, I'm going to go in with the Mia Secret Pink, and I'm just going to encapsulate the two colors. Remember that when you're using colored acrylic, you want to make sure that you encapsulate your acrylic with either clear, or like me, I use the Mia Secret Pink. But you want to make sure that you encapsulate it, because if not, when you come back to file, you are going to file that colored acrylic off, and it's going to make the acrylic look really patchy. So it's really important that you encapsulate. Again, it's either with a clear or whatever you want to use. So same thing for the rest. Again, so Mia's Secret Cover Pink, placing it closer to the cuticle area, making sure that we blend it right in the middle. We don't want to brush it all the way down towards the tip because then it wouldn't be an ombre. So just blend it in the middle. Of course, clean around the cuticle area if you need to, making sure that you get a really good blend, and then go back in and encapsulate it. And then of course, the nail brush that I'm using is my Alpha brush in a number 10, and I'll be sure to leave the link in the description. Alrighty, so we're almost done with this hand. We're on the thumb, so same thing. We're applying that bead of the Mia's Secret Cover Pink, applying it closer to the cuticle area, patting it down, brushing it down towards the middle to blend it in, cleaning around that cuticle area. And then remember, you don't want to work with too much product when you're doing this because it's going to take away from your ombre. You're either going to have way too much white or way too much pink. So make sure that you work with a little bit of product at a time, especially if you're a beginner. You don't want your nails to be super thick because then you're going to have a lot of filing to do at the end. So make sure that you work smarter and not harder. Alrighty, so same thing. We're going to go ahead and do the frosted pink on the tips, on all of the fingers. And then we're going to come back and do the Cover Rose and the Mia's Secret Pink. So remember that when you're doing this, you want to make sure that you don't apply too much acrylic. That is very important when you're doing nails. You don't want to have to do a lot of filing at the end, especially if you're using a hand file. It's going to kill your hand because it's just a lot to file off if you do too much acrylic. So make sure that you place your bead right at the tip, brushing it down towards the tip. Or sorry, right in the middle and brushing it down towards the tip. And then after that, we come back and do the pink. Okay, so we finished applying the acrylic, so now we're going to go ahead and reshape the nails. So same thing as earlier, we filed the sides at a 45-degree angle, the free edge at a 90-degree angle, and make sure that when you're doing this, that you're holding your file really straight when you're filing the free edge. That way you get that perfect coffin shape. And then once you finish filing each hand, you want to make sure that you check all of the nails to make sure that they're nice and straight, because your shape has a lot to do with how your final product looks. So make sure that you get that perfect shape. Again, 45 degrees on the sides, 90-degree angle at the free edge. And it helps a lot if you file the free edge like at a vertical angle. As you can see, I hold my file like up and down at a vertical angle, so that helps a lot. So next I'm going to go in with my fine drill bit, and as always when you're doing this, you want to make sure that first you start off around the cuticle area, following from the right side over to the left side, just going back and forth until you're able to see where the cuticle is, where the natural nail is, and where the acrylic is. That way you know that you won't get any lifting, and then of course also filing the rest of the nail to make sure that it's smooth. And then also one big thing when you're filing with the drill is, or even with the hand file, you want to make sure that you keep your drill moving at all times. You don't want to just leave it in one spot for too long, because it's going to cause friction and it's going to cause your client's nail to burn. So if you ever been in a shop and or just anywhere and you're getting your nails done and you feel your nail burn when they're filing, that means that they left that nail file too long on one spot, or it could be that they're putting too much pressure when they're filing. So make sure that you do not do that to prevent from hurting someone. And also making sure that you're really careful when you go around the cuticle area. As you can see, I use my pinky to kind of get some stability. That way my file or my drill is not just all over the place. I kind of hold my hand with my pinky. So make sure that you find a comfortable position that helps you file really good around that cuticle area, and then the rest of the nail as well. So again, this is actually an extra fine drill bit by Pana. I kind of alternate between my ceramic one and this one. It's kind of just whichever one I grab first, so it doesn't really matter. It's just kind of like a preference. But before, when I used to get the fine carbide drill bits, they were a little bit too rough, so that's why now I got the extra fine one. But again, it just kind of depends on what you like. I use both of them. They both work really good for me. But we're going to go ahead and finish filing all of the nails. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and buff the nails. Remember that this is just going to get rid of any of those scratches left on the nail from the e-file or the hand file. So make sure that you buff those nails really good. That way you do not have any scratches. You want to make sure that you don't skip this step, because y'all, I promise, like, I guess people don't always watch all the videos through. So I have a lot of people always messaging me like, hey, like, once I apply my polish, you can see scratches through them, and it's like, you have to buff the nails. That's what the buffer is for. It gets rid of those scratches. So make sure that you do not skip this step. But after this, we're going to go ahead and dust the nails off. Wipe them off with an alcohol wipe, or of course you could have your client go wash their hands, whatever works for you best. Now I'm going to go in with my Soleil nail adhesive, and we're going to be applying some bling. We're going to do a teardrop on the middle finger, and we're going to outline that with the SS6, and then at the bottom we're going to do an SS12. And we're using our wax pencil, again the Soleil nail adhesive, and then all of this bling is from my website. Be sure to place your orders really soon if you're looking to purchase from my website, because I will be out of town starting August the 12th, and I won't be back until the 18th. So I'm still trying to decide if I'm going to close it down or not. But just in case, be sure to, you know, place your order ahead of time just to be safe. Okay, so for the index finger, I'm just going to do an SS12 right in the middle, and then I'm going to do 3 SS6 on each side. And then for the rest of the fingers, we're just going to do an SS12 and an SS6 closer to the cuticle area, just kind of like in a straight line, I guess, one under the other one, and that's gonna be it. So remember that when I use the Soleil nail adhesive or even the Mia Secret gel resin, I always use the Mia Secret gel resin activator because it helps that gel resin dry a lot faster, because since it is a gel resin, it takes longer for it to dry because it's a thicker consistency. So with that activator spray, it instantly dries that glue. And then after that, I can go ahead and apply the top coat. So I'm using my Madam Glam gel top coat. We're going to go ahead and apply that on all of the nails, and then we're going to be curing this for 60 seconds. Alrighty, so same thing for the other hand. We went ahead and applied the Soleil nail adhesive. With the wax pencil, we're going to pick up our teardrop bling, and then we're going to outline it with the SS6. We're going to use an SS12 as well. For the index finger, we're going to use the SS12 with 3 SS6 on each side. And then on the other 3 fingers, we're going to do the SS12 and then an SS6 right underneath. Alrighty, y'all, so here is the final look. They turned out really pretty, nice and clean and very classy and blingy and just so shiny. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at GetNail32, and I'll see you guys next time.